Okay, so exercise 9b, simple interest graphs. The learning intention of this lesson is to be able to construct a simple interest graph and use your graph to solve problems. So when you are graphing simple interest, your horizontal axis is always the time period and the vertical axis is always the interest earned, so the money. So simple interest will increase by a constant amount each time period. This will result in a straight line graph. So simple interest is always straight line, compounds is not. Okay, so to create a simple interest graph, there's some quick steps we'll just quickly read over. Is construct a table of values for I and N using the simple interest formula. Draw a number plane with N on the horizontal and L on the vertical. Plot the points and then join your points. Okay, so your x-axis is your N and the income is your y-axis. Okay, so let's start with read the question. Sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself. I've prepared the axes earlier to save a bit of time. So draw a graph showing the amount of simple interest earned over a period of 4 years if $1,000 is borrowed at 6% per annum. Use the graph to estimate the interest earned after 8 years. So interest equals PRN. Always start with that formula. So interest equals my principal is 1,000, my rate, so 6%, which is 0.06 as a decimal, times the number of time periods, and it's 4. Okay, but sorry, I don't need to put 4 because I want a graph, so that's not actually relevant. I want to leave it as N. Okay, so if I multiply 1,000 by 0.06, I'll get 60, so I equals 60N. Okay, and then that equation will work for any time period in that investment. So if I do a table of values, N is along the top, which is your x-axis. And then we've got I here. And we want to put a few values in. Okay, remember, we only need 3. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3, so we actually get some numbers. So at 1 year, I will get 60, so 1 times 60, 2 times 60 is 120, and 3 60s is 180. Okay, so let's plot those 3 points. First one is 1 and 60, so we're estimating a little bit, which is fine. So 1 and 60 is about there. 2 and 120, so somewhere about, there, let's say. And the last one is 3 and 180. So 3 and 180 is somewhere close to here. So I probably could have spread my axes out a little bit more, but that's okay. Alright, so there is my straight line. And the rest of the question said use the graph to estimate the interest earned after 8 years. So I actually need to extend that graph a little further so that it covers 8 years. Now, to work out 8 years, I go to 8 along the bottom, draw a nice line up here, and then from there, what I'm doing is I'm connecting it to this axis, and I can make an estimate. Okay, so if that's about $450, I'd call that about $480. So therefore, interest earned after 8 years is approximately equal to $480. Now, in an exam, if your graph is not 100% accurate, but you have taken that value off your graph, you probably would have lost some marks come the graphing part of the question, but if you've interpreted your graph correctly, you're fine. You would get the mark. So that's just important to note. Alright, so that's the only example for today's lesson. Just get onto the textbook and get the exercise done.